Okay, little chilblains. So we're looking at the boy in the back at the back of the class, and this is our grammar lesson for the week. And what we're looking at is verbs and adverbs. Okay, so a reminder that verbs are doing words, active action words like run, jump, skip, hop, etc., etc. And adverbs describe verbs. So you can run fast, or you can jump high, or you can sing sweetly, and so on and so on. So that would be high, fast, and sweetly would be the adverbs. Okay. We're looking at something called degrees of possibility. So when you're talking about, let me try and explain what that means. So whether or not something is possible, it is possible that it's going to rain today. Okay? And there's a range of possibilities, or what we call a degree of possibilities. So for example, it is definitely going to rain today. It is certain to rain. It's certainly going to rain today. It's possibly going to rain today. It is probably going. It's maybe going to rain. It is unlikely to rain today. So these are degrees of possibility. Surely, maybe, clearly, probably, unlikely. Unlikely is not on that list there. So what this is asking you to do is to split the adverbs that are in that list, certainly, possibly, obviously, definitely, perhaps, maybe, clearly, probably, into things that are sure to happen and things that maybe won't happen. Okay, so for example, certainly, that's going to go in the first box, because if something is certain, you can depend on it. And then possibly, meh, that's not so clear, so that would go in the second box. So your job then is to put the others, obviously, definitely, perhaps, maybe, clearly, and probably, into the correct box. Now, when you're laying this out, if you're not going to print this out, which is completely fine if you don't want to print it out, just put them in two columns. You don't need to draw a box, just so that they're clearly two separate collections of words. I don't really mind how you lay it out, as long as it is clear. Okay? And this section, you've got a word missing. So that's going to be one of the words. Amit was certainly lonely, maybe lonely, definitely lonely. I would, before I filled the first one in, I would read all of the sentences, because there's some words that you could put in several of the sentences. It's not always 100%, which it's not always certain which one goes where, and that's okay. But just read through all the sentences and maybe put them into two categories in your mind: the ones that are definite and the ones that you're less sure about. And then try and fit a word, definitely, maybe, probably, possibly, etc., into the gap there. Okay, so if you're not printing this out, I do want the whole sentence written, please. Okay, and then we've got, these are called modal verbs. These are words that you use all the time. So modal verbs can help to make meaning clear. Decide where each modal verb best belongs and write it on the chart. Again, you don't have to do a box. You don't have to draw a box. Just make sure that you're in 4 clear categories and name them. Possibility, certainly, duty, ability. So possibility, what is maybe? That's a maybe. certainty, definite. Duty, a duty is when something you feel like you need to do something. So for example, some of you, if you've got younger brothers and sisters, you know, even if you don't always get on, it's kind of your duty to look after them. If somebody lends you something, you also know it's your duty to look after that, make sure you don't break it before you give it back to them. And then ability is what you're able to do. So for example, if you're asked to do something, for example, if you're asked to something that happens sometimes in class, take a message somewhere, but you're not able to do that because or I should say you are, because we stick with ability rather than something you're not able to do. So you're able to do it because you know where it is that you need to go, and you know how to do it and whatever. So it's being able to do something. Okay? So I would suggest just putting the word I before each word. I must, I ought, I may, I can, I will, I should, I shall, I might, I would, I could. Okay, so that it gives you, try and put it into a sentence in your head if you're not sure where to put it in the box. Okay, if you're definitely not sure, just miss that word out. Okay, and then let me know how you get on.